Hi, good morning. It's Kim today, and what I am going to plan to do today is some transplanting of my club moss. I recently at a Goodwill store came across this large jar. Let me see if I can get it turned over. It's, I don't know, probably at least a couple gallons. No markings on it, except it did say made in Italy on the bottom, kind of in a circular pattern. But it's a very heavy glass, similar to my bottle garden, except conveniently this one has a lot wider lid on it. You can see that. Raise up just a little bit. Lot wider lid so that I can reach down into it. I'm so glad of that, because that bottle garden I planted quite a while ago, it was very hard to plant. But what I want to do is put this Selaginella club moss into it. It is in, that's a bowl. I forget if I explained this before. It's just a little glass bowl, and that is one of those cheese platter covers that I've put over it to give it a little enclosed garden, but it has outgrown that, and I really need to get it out because you can see where it's trying to escape down here and the little things dry out. But today it's going to get a new home, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that off, and we're going to get it transplanted into this one. Now here we are over at the mixing station. I've got a lot of soil here that I've mixed some charcoal and some of those systemic granules that I talked about in a previous post, because I don't know if this bag of soil is contaminated with the fungus gnat, but we're just from the get-go gonna hope that adding the systemic granules will help that. So I've got this fairly mixed up. As you can see, I have a few little leaves and debris from other plantings. Need some gloves on since I got those granules in there. But I'm gonna fill up the jar. Well, not fill up, but I'm gonna at least put 3 or 4 inches in there. So here we go. Okay, I hope you can see this pretty well. Had to start the camera controls, and it just won't work in the gloves. But I've got my soil all mixed and ready, and now I'm going to go ahead and put it into the jar. And here we go. Now I hope there's no contamination in this soil, but you probably know as well as I do that every time you buy a bag, you get surprises because of what's already gone into the soil. Now, some of these things are my fault because this is a planting table that I use and things get mixed into it. But I just don't want there to be fungus gnats already in it from the get-go. I think that maybe just one more. There. Now that looks good. I did put some cinnamon in it. Sorry, I did that before I started the camera. Now you can see I've got that pretty full. Sorry about the light reflections. That's the problem with working with the glass. But it looks pretty good. Nice and full. Should have good drainage. Now, I'm of the school of thought, I don't think that a terrarium needs quote-unquote drainage. I'm going to plant the stuff in there. The roots are going to connect to soil no matter where they go. in my pots because they're not going to go find rocks to climb around. That's just the way I feel it needs to be, so that's how I've done this one. But that's what this one looks so far. Now let's go get the plant and get the plant in it. Okay, we're all ready to plant the plant in our large terrarium jar. Now this particular jar does have a lid. Has a big heavy lid to go on it. So this can be an enclosed terrarium like my other one was. And here is the plant. Let me scoot. Here's the plant. She's pretty dry. She's looking for some moisture now, and we're going to water her well and cover her in her new environment. So, as you can see, she's nearly the size of the opening. So I'm just going to push her down into the soil. And I'll just leave that area so that you can see. I'm just pushing her right down into the top. Let me lift this up. Pushing her right down into the top. And here we go. Okay, now I just have to create a little opening for her down in the soil. And I'll just ruffle the soil right up around her so that she'll have good contact. Now I think she looks real good down in there, and now she'll be free to spread around. I've got her kind of in the middle. Hope you can see that real well. Now I'm going to put a lot of water in there for her. This is just one of my dehumidifier bottles of water. I'm going to pour it right down into the center. Because I really want her soaked well. Because we're going to hydrate all of this soil that's in that bottle. Might seem like a lot, but the soil was dry. And I want to get a lot of hydration because it's going to mist right up here on the sides. Okay. Let me look. I don't know if I can tilt that to show you the bottom, because this is what I use in my terrariums to see where the soil is, where the hydration is going to. You can just lift it up and see if the roots are coming down. So we've got a lot of water. Okay. Now, I'm going to get a wipe just to slightly wipe the inside in case I've gotten any soil on it. Okay, here is a paper towel. You can see this is all on the outside. But we want to clean the inside too. Now I did, once I got this home from the Goodwill store, I did clean and sanitize all the way inside because I don't know what was kept in here before. Okay, That looks good. And now the lid. Lid's all clean. And there we go. Now let me pull this up. There we go. Lid on it. And the plant down inside. So I'm going to take this over and put it on the shelf, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, here we go. I've got her under the lights now. I hope you can see her okay. She's got a lot of moisture in there now, and I will wait to see the moisture mist up the sides of the terrarium. That way I can judge to see just how much moisture is in there, and either leave the lid off or put the leaf or the lid back on so that she can get just the right amount of moisture. So that is what we're going to do with our club moss today. That's the new patch freed from the cheese dish lid. Now this is her sister. That's in a big jar. I had her right next to it, but she's outgrown hers. Now this one, I'd say that's getting into pretty tight quarters there. But at least that may last until I find another aquarium. And I would like to find another aquarium. Now that's the name of it. The Selaginella kraussiana aurea golden club moss. So now we've got another big terrarium full of that. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and come back for another one soon.